Oh, hi. Hello. Hi. Um, okay, this is the part of the show where I usually do what they call, I guess, a cold open or an intro. Um, by the way, episode 166 of the Tom Kelly Show, just in case you thought this was Joe Rogan. Um, or to call her daddy. Call me daddy. You can call me daddy, though. But I'd like, yeah, that sounds creepy. I never got that. Already diverging. So I'm going to kind of free form after the intensity of yesterday's show. Just me, brilliant, talking about the news and how it's been affecting me over the weekend. Today, we're going to get back to the core of the Tom Kelly Show mission for 20 minutes. And the mission will be self-improvement comedy or self-improvement and fun. And the one thing, so I'm actually sitting here before I go do stand-up tonight, Monday night, February 28th, wearing my favorite, most comfortable t-shirt. Do you hear that sound? That is the sound of me grabbing my own boobs for the camera for the YouTube following. And it's a soft Japanese Captain America shirt that I think I either got at a comic convention or the Gap. Whatever it is, it's my favorite shirt. It's like a little blanket with Captain America and a bunch of Japanese writing on it. So I always start with an intro to the show. You're listening to the Tom Kelly Show, the home of self-improvement and fun. Is your life where you want it to be? Blah, blah, blah. And the one thing I've been thinking about lately is the language I use in my life, the language I use to describe myself, the language I use to sell myself. I've always said that I have turned self-loathing into a nice little career. But as I get older, I get tired of that. There's a line in a Dan Harris book, 10% Happier. There's a guy, Ben Sherwood, who is the president of ABC News and eventually became the president of ABC, if I'm not mistaken. He told Dan Harris, who was a weekend anchor for one of the news shows, that you have to be a leading man. And I, frankly, I'd love to be Teen Wolf, but I'm more like Styles, the wacky friend. I always feel like I'm the wacky neighbor in somebody else's sitcom. And, part of this experiment here is about being the leading man. One of the dreams of this show is that maybe I do go to 4 or 5 days a week, and I am your listening as you get your coffee 4 to 5 days a week, and we grow up and entertain each other together. And it's funny, Amy Lachlan, a friend of my friend Father Lou's, and I guess a friend of mine too, just sent me a nice note that she loved the comedic value of me podcasting from my nephew's hockey game. And I'm just thinking, one, no one in my family knows I did that podcast, and I'd like to keep it that way. And two, I think it would be kind of creepy for me to be sportscasting from random children's sporting events while doing a weird self-help comedy podcast. But the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is framing ourselves. I've slowly improved the language of the intro if you listen to it. At one point I used to say, my life has been a mess for a long, long time. Now I say, my name is Tom Kelly. I'm fixing up my life so you don't have to. And I think that's a great message. But on the other hand, I'm not projecting leading man energy. And, so I'm kind of rewriting the intro on the air, or at least talking about how I want to rewrite it. So you're listening to the Tom Kelly Show, the home of self-improvement and fun. Positive message, a little bit medical, but I like it. Is your life where you want it to be? I stole that from another self-improvement guy because I'm trying to make you feel like you need to fix up your life, so you're going to follow me. And my name is Tom Kelly. I'm fixing up my life so you don't have to, which is where I'm at right now. But I need a better way or a more positive way to say that, because I always joke about being single, and I feel like that just creates more of me being single. I always joke about how girls break my heart, And listen, I've turned that into a nice little career. Maybe if instead I joked about how I can't get women out of the bed all the time, I may look a little douchier, but maybe that would happen, you know? And it sounds crazy, but you know, how do you sell yourself? And the other line that I'm working on fixing is, this is the podcast where we take the existential crisis and turn it into a renaissance. Maybe I need to edit that line too. This is the line where we take life and turn it into a renaissance. You know, I don't know. So, you know, so we're working on that. And that's my challenge to you guys. If this is the Tuesday podcast, is how do you change your self-defeating language? And, you know, my friend Amy Lachlan, who I know from church, may or may not believe this, but I kind of feel like every word you say out loud, what if that were a prayer to God? You know, what if I say, I always get my ass kicked and I am the real life Charlie Brown, which is how I feel. And I feel like that's why so many of you feel I'm adorable. And if you look at who my fans are, there are people, they're generally people who want to protect me like a puppy dog. You know, so, you know, like they're people who think I am adorable, and I am adorable. I really am. Like, I'm looking at myself while recording the podcast, and I just look, God, despite the gray hair, and even with the gray hair, I'm cute. I'd adopt me too. So thank you for your continued support, people. And again, I'm doing the show. I had a weird weekend of shows. I had a private party gig where there was a guy who was just being a jerk and a heckler. And you know what? Maybe I will play a minute of a podcast with him. And I cracked down. I recorded the audio of him. Oh, do I have it plugged in here? Oh, wait.
Comedy audience, a church audience. I like that. Are we Catholic? A lot of religious people, Catholic people.
So here's what happens. Actually, you can hear this. These are jokes you have heard. By the way, I'm at Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club this Wednesday and Thursday in New Jersey. What you're hearing in the background right now is me doing a joke I've done a million times. And there's a guy, I'm doing the show in a private home in Dyker Heights. It is a woman named Kathy's 60th birthday party. And there's a guy who reminded me of one of my more belligerent relatives. Even as I'm walking in, he's having a beer outside, and he's like, and you can hear him saying, "Brr, I'm going to be heckling the comedians. I'm heckling the comedian. Heckling." Hecklers, you're not, even the word is just gross. Heckle. Like I get a sickness. It's funny. I promised myself I wouldn't talk about this. And here we are. But because I can play the clip, I will.
Okay, never mind. Altar boy. Got it. Okay.
Wait, now listen.
Focus, well-written jokes I've told on TV and many living rooms around Brooklyn.
See, there I am getting laughs. And there's just a guy who just keeps talking, and we're in a living room.
Well, weren't for the fucking pandemic, I wouldn't be here.
There you go. He's just still like,
2 years ago, things were going great and things got fucking derailed, people, okay? I was working at a TV show. I'm not going to say which one. I was working at a couple of TV shows, and I was working at actually Good Morning America, right?
That's my first mistake. I knew I was in a room full of people. I got to stop telling people I worked at Good Morning America or The View, because here's now a drunk guy who now thinks he's heckling. He's confused and merged The View and Good Morning America.
For all this, I was doing their big concerts. I was working in their studio. I was telling jokes to the audiences, and they were ahead. Yes, sir, shut the fuck up. I don't want it.
See, now I'm getting the laugh.
Your wife should have told you years ago, you're a fucking asshole. Shut up, okay? No, and I mean, listen, no, every family's got one. He's my Uncle Jim. Like, we all have to say that, oh, Uncle Jim's so funny. No, it means you're fat and going to die of a heart attack soon, and we can't wait, okay?
So I might have been a little mean there. I might have been a little mean. But remember, he's been heckling all the comedians all night, and I just wasn't in the mood. And I guess he reminded me of a relative who used to curse around me, and I was afraid of as a kid.
They laid me off 5 days before the pandemic.
Now I'm trying to transition to a joke there.
Essential. By the way, is he heckling me or having a stroke? Please, because I really don't want you to die until I get paid. Wait, is he moving around now? No, I'm not. I want to understand. That's a whole other fucking TV show, you idiot. Holy shit, he's heckling The View. Oh my God. Okay. All right. No, we're not, because I am not getting paid enough to get my ass kicked.
Yeah, I got to realize I was in a house, and I also knew while talking to this guy, there was no way out except through the crowd. There you go. That is not what I wanted to talk about on the show, but why not? If I'm sharing things with you, a friend of mine booked me for this private party. I've done a couple of great ones. There was a light so bright that I couldn't see who was talking in the crowd. And maybe I'm getting rusty. I didn't move out of the light. I wasn't able to see the guy so much. I mean, there's a lot of little things. I've had 2 bad shows this weekend. And yeah, you talk about getting rusty. I made little mistakes on this show. And then I made some really little mistakes on a bar show that went really bad yesterday. The big mistake I made was the room was not built for comedy. They put a bunch of people who did not want to be at the show in the front of the crowd, which was at the right side of the bar. And they left the TVs on, like just lots of little mistakes. So I guess that's part of what I need to get back to as a comic is the basics. And that's why I'm doing things like this. So I guess I kind of derailed my speak it into existence thing by sharing the moment with you. Yeah. Or am I being real? Like, this is where you get into what's going to bring me the next gift into my life. Sharing the pain and being honest about the pain, or denying the pain and pretending I'm a big shot. But I'm also sharing both of these stories with, I need to do better. I need to practice more to handle the hecklers more. Though in all fairness to me, I was at the end of a line of guys who did not shut him up. You know, it was just at a point where I'm like, what do you want me to do? Speak louder. Actually, I did say one funny thing to the whole room either before or right after that. They made me sign a contract. I wasn't allowed to record video. And then they asked me not to make fun of the differently abled. Okay. And I don't use the R word. Anyway, and my line was, you made me sign a contract saying I would not make fun of the developmentally disabled because there was a developmentally disabled grandchild here, and yet you give me Frank. I got to laugh on that. You know, and then I said, I don't want to use words that start with the letter R, F, or U, and yet you're giving me this. You know, but the good news is I got paid my Venmo pretty quick. So I'm happy again. And I'm only sharing the moment with you because I guess, yeah, there's a thin line. You know, I'm banging on my knee and I'm trying not to make this noise that Jamie Marcella says he loves in me. But I am having some sort of a revelation, which is I am working at speaking a better life into existence. I'm not there yet. And it's funny, I have a list of fun things I wanted to talk about with you guys. Reframing my language, stans or fans. I want to convert my Tom Kelly Show fans into stans. I always thought the word stan was a word just for fans of BTS and the K-pop bands. Then I saw Jennifer Garner call her fan army stans. Google Dictionary defines stan as overzealous or obsessive fan of a popular celebrity. Urban Dictionary goes further in the clarification, a reference to an Eminem song, Stan. The song is about an overly obsessed fan named Stan who writes a letter to Eminem and ends up driving off a bridge with his pregnant wife because Eminem didn't write him back. Now, I don't want you to go that far. In fact, to keep you from driving off bridges, I have created this super exclusive Tom Kelly Show secret Facebook stan group. So you guys can all talk to each other and never drive off a bridge like Eminem's friend Stan. That, by the way, I did not know that full definition until about half an hour ago today. How do I get into the Tom Kelly Show stan group? Ask me for the link or just look it up and request in. And I've already made Marianne a co-moderator. And by the way, folks, send a message in the group to Marianne and her husband, Ed. Marianne is a nurse taking care of COVID patients. And that's all you need to know. Be nice to Marianne and Ed. I feel like I have to end on a happier topic purely because Amy Lachlan sent me that nice note about how funny I was. And today I haven't been. Quick topic from medium.com. Does worrying about how happy you are make you miserable? The happiness paradox, they call it. When you worry about how happy you are, you end up making yourself unhappy. Boom. I just read the whole article for you. Just improved your life right there. Are you living life like you're going to die at a certain age? This may sound crazy, but I am planning my finances like I'm going to live till age 90. And if you use that as a metric, I am poor. However, if I am dying by age 50, I have put a lot of money into the bank for nothing. And I guess that's a question for you guys just to pop into your head. Are you planning your life and savings like you're going to live forever or just make it to a certain age? And then here's a woman I may have on the podcast at some point. You can follow her, Life in High Gear, on Instagram. Her name is Kristen Kenney. She's a great spin teacher at the gym. I've been taking spin classes the last couple of days because I'm just bored with swimming and it's too cold to bike outside. And I love my long walks, but when you're living in the city, they're just not as much fun. When I do a long walk in the city, there's at least 3 things to make me miserable before I even get past the front stoop. So she taught a spin class today. Great spin instructor, pretty girl, great list of music, and very confident. She looked me in the eyes as I got into spin class late and said, "Let me coach you." And she's exactly what I fall for in a woman and exactly what I would probably drive nuts in a long-term relationship. But she's also a life coach, and I can see why she does this. She said that she only life coaches gay men and women and heterosexual women. And I asked her, why? Why? Hey, why would you do that? That just sounds crazy. Maybe that's discriminatory. And then she said, well, that's because most of the straight guys she would coach would start making moves on her, and that was counterproductive to what she was trying to achieve. And I said, yes, that sounds right. I've asked her to be on the podcast. She has a podcast of her own that she doesn't update that much, but I loved her spin class and I loved her energy. And frankly, her philosophy of only working with gay men made me think about my own self. Is like, I mean, geez, how many women have, like, this is why I'm single, is, there's just no, you don't want to make people uncomfortable, but I would like to find love before 50, but I'm growing as a man. So here we go. The whole show today, Tom admits his flaws and has very few solutions, but maybe we'll find them tomorrow. So I guess back to what we were saying at the beginning of the show. Yes, I am fixing up my life so you don't have to. So the asks for the show, if you want to be in the Tom Kelly Show fan group, just ask and we'll let you in, and be nice to each other there. I'm trying to create a community there. I'm trying to turn my fans into safe stands and show love where love can be shown. Share the podcast where you can share it. And the Tom Kelly Show grocery store signs are still available. Until tomorrow, where I will do a better podcast. You know what's funny? I'm not apologizing. You see, there you go. One, I'm speaking something bad into existence there. This show was great. It was real. It was unplanned. And you're lucky to have me. So stop apologizing for your greatness. And yeah, that's my message to you tonight, guys. Stop apologizing for your greatness. Good night, New York.